Hi, this is Michael Sheehan, Technology Evangelist from GoGrid, and today I have Paul Lapis, who is our VP of Engineering. And I wanted to ask Paul a few questions about his thoughts on the recent VMWorld Expo that was in San Francisco, and as well as some other things about GoGrid. So
hey, Michael.
How you doing, Paul?
Good. How you doing?
Great. So why don't we start right off with VMworld and what you thought of the show?
Oh, it was a lot bigger than I expected. I think it was a great show. I think I think on Monday it was there was an article in the Times that mentioned that VMware was the fourth biggest competitor to Microsoft behind Google and Apple, which was a little bit of a surprise to me, but understandable when you look at the kinds of markets that both of those companies are going after. And so I think it was great for VMware, who's doing some really great things, and great for cloud computing as a whole, that the industry is gaining so much popularity in general.
Anything at the show that particularly got your attention, or?
Well, it was nice to see Savvis and OpSource and some of our competitors in the cloud infrastructure space, and looking at some of their demos and talking to their to some of their people to understand what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It was valuable seeing some of the hardware, of the technologies that we use in GoGrid were also at the show, so we were able to get a good understanding of where they're going and kind of what features they're going to be implementing that we might be able to use. And then just seeing companies that are using VMware and what they're talking about, what they're interested in, how they're using VMware, so that we can be kind of better positioned to understand really what the industry wants as a whole.
So tell me a little bit more about these technologies that you mentioned, and also why you think it was important for GoGrid to be an exhibitor at a show that was pretty much exclusively for VMware partners.
Well, I think in general, people that go to that show are interested in using VMware. They're interested in using cloud computing. They're interested in understanding why it's important for them, for their business, how they can benefit from it. And so getting an opportunity to talk to those customers, or those potential customers or users or potential partners in real time is always really a fun thing, A, and B, it's kind of very educational for us, as we are always trying to get feedback from the industry and our customers as to what to do next.
Great.
To build our roadmap for the future.
Great. Yeah, so a lot of the questions that I got at the booth was, well, so how are you working with VMware? And I got quite a bit of laughs when I said, well, we have nothing to do with VMware. So why don't you talk a little bit about the technology that GoGrid is built on, and why we chose to use it?
Well, first let me say that VMware is great technology. I think they serve a very important need in the market, and I think they're going to have a great future, and kind of being successful targeting, I think, for now, big enterprises. And but we've gone the open source route, and we're quite proud of that, and it helps us in a number of ways. Using Zen it gives us opportunities that we wouldn't really have with VMware, because we built all of our own intellectual property to manage our grid using an open source hypervisor, and so we can implement features ourselves that would support what customers need without having to wait for, in some cases, VMware to have to implement that for us. So we're more flexible, and we're also able to compete on price, much kind of better than a customer that would, or than a partner or a competitor that would use VMware, because we don't have to incur any licensing fees.
Gotcha. So you do most of your work under the hood with GoGrid. So anything
Absolutely.
exciting down in there for all the geeks who may be watching this?
I would say learn hypervisors. Pick one, and understand how to implement, support, and operate hypervisors. How to develop against them to get your job done, and then also get adept at using existing cloud infrastructure services on the internet. Learn how to use EC2, learn how to use GoGrid and their APIs, and understand how you can use those tools to get your job done. Because at the end of the day, what we're providing is just additional tools for you to use to get your business objectives met. And to the extent that there's more and more tools available to you, creates new opportunities, but it also creates new challenges, because it's not always very evident how to most effectively use these new tools.
Great. So, any final words about the show, about GoGrid, anything you want to share with our viewers?
I think we're excited to be a part of these shows, and I expect that next year we'll have a much bigger footprint there. And who knows? Maybe we'll be integrating with VMware or some other kind of technologies in the future that'll give us more kind of opportunities to work more closely together with some of those people at the show.
Great. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Michael.